Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking directly to all of you focused learners out there who want to break into the IT industry in 2026. Look, right now there are literally millions of open tech roles globally, right? Yet we're seeing countless highly educated grads struggling to land even a single interview. It's this massive paradox. So today we're going to demystify this hiring gap using clear, actionable data straight from our source material. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered why two students graduating with the exact same degree end up with completely different job opportunities? Imagine this scenario. Two grads, let's call them Alex and Jordan. They sit in the exact same classes, take the same exams, and graduate with the exact same GPA. But Alex gets immediately shortlisted for interviews, while Jordan's resume, it just seems to disappear into a black hole. Jordan did everything right according to the traditional playbook, but still hears absolute crickets from recruiters. It's a totally frustrating mystery for so many recent grads trying to figure out what went wrong.
So what's really going on here with the hidden job market gap? Well, the hard truth is that degrees alone just aren't cutting it anymore. The gap between those two students isn't just about who has better baseline skills, it's about who has undeniable proof of those skills.
I want you to look right at this four-part formula, because a certificate just sitting by itself in a digital folder is almost never going to get you a job. Companies hire people to solve their problems, not just pass multiple-choice tests. Certifications alone are practically useless unless they are combined with this exact sequence. You need a recognized certification, plus a real-world project, an active GitHub repository, and an optimized LinkedIn profile. Think about it. Your GitHub repo acts as a living, breathing portfolio showing your actual code in real time. And your LinkedIn profile? That's your modern-day handshake, connecting you with industry pros. This specific combination proves to recruiters that you can learn independently, stay updated, and actually execute on what you know.
All right, so how do we get those credentials without breaking the bank? Let's check out the top free certification platforms of 2026. You might think you need to spend thousands of dollars to get noticed, but top-tier, globally recognized platforms actually offer totally free access to their learning paths.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we can break these 10 massive platforms down by their core strengths to prevent cognitive overload. Google is naturally your go-to for cybersecurity and AI essentials. Then you've got Microsoft and AWS, which absolutely dominate cloud computing, and honestly, that makes total sense since they run the vast majority of the modern internet's infrastructure. If you need hands-on coding and assessment tests, FreeCodeCamp and HackerRank are unparalleled because they force you to build things. For data analytics and networking, IBM and Cisco are the absolute industry standards. And for Java foundations or essential soft skills, Oracle and LinkedIn Learning provide the best baseline.
But it doesn't stop there. It's amazing to discover just how deep this free learning ecosystem goes. Beyond the giants, there are incredibly powerful niche platforms. For instance, Kaggle is essentially an international playground for data science, where you can literally compete in predictive modeling challenges using real datasets. You've got Salesforce Trailhead, which gamifies learning CRM software, a massive industry unto itself, plus GitHub Skills, MongoDB, Red Hat, OpenSAP, Intel AI, and the incredibly valuable option to audit premium university courses on Coursera and edX. The sheer volume of free learning out there is staggering. But remember, the key takeaway here is that acquiring the actual knowledge is always your absolute priority over paying for a fancy piece of paper.
So we have the platforms. Now let's rapidly map these certifications directly to 5 major IT career paths.
First up, aspiring web developers. This is your starting line. Your primary focus here is FreeCodeCamp, GitHub Skills, and Microsoft Learn. I've got to say, FreeCodeCamp is particularly phenomenal. Why? Because you simply cannot just passively click through videos to earn a credential. No way. You are required to build real responsive web projects. We're talking coding functional tribute pages, interactive JavaScript calculators, full-blown API microservices. So when you sit down for an interview, you aren't just saying you know how to code, you are actively pulling up the applications you've built from scratch. Recruiters highly respect that.
Keeping the pace up, if you're drawn to cloud computing, the data points clearly toward AWS Skill Builder, Microsoft Learn for Azure, and Oracle Cloud. Cloud computing roles are just exploding right now because practically every business is migrating their infrastructure online. Understanding how virtual servers, cloud storage, and load balancers all work together, that gives you a massive competitive advantage.
Even if you don't pay to take the official exam right away, mastering AWS or Azure architecture from these free platforms ensures you can speak the language of the cloud during any technical interview.
Next, for all my future data analysts who love turning raw numbers into actionable insights, you'll want to head straight to IBM Skills Build, Kaggle Learn, and Microsoft Power BI Learning. Data analysis is really all about storytelling with information, and these 3 hubs are the perfect industry-standard playgrounds. You can jump right into Kaggle to practice cleaning up messy data sets, and then use Microsoft's resources to master tools like Power BI. That's how you learn to create the exact types of interactive dashboards that executives use to make multi-million-dollar business decisions.
Now, if you're leaning towards digital defense, you'll want to focus heavily on the Cisco Networking Academy, the Google Cybersecurity Certificate, and IBM Skills Build. The demand for Security Operations Center, or SOC analysts, is at an all-time high as global cyber threats escalate and companies scramble to protect user data. The offerings from Cisco and Google are globally recognized. They cover everything from foundational Linux command line skills and network security, all the way to advanced risk management and incident response protocols.
And finally, the AI engineer path. It's fascinating to see how the AI landscape is shifting so quickly. Here we're highlighting Google AI Essentials, Microsoft AI Learning, and Kaggle Learn. You know, generative AI basics aren't just for hardcore programmers and data scientists anymore. They are quickly becoming mandatory across the board. Imagine a marketing student using prompt engineering to instantly generate campaign copy, or an HR professional leveraging it to streamline recruitment data. Grasping how to effectively communicate with and leverage AI models is becoming foundational knowledge for absolutely anyone entering the workforce in 2026.
Let's talk about the real value here. Application over collection. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the biggest, most dangerous traps that ambitious students fall into.
Look at the heavy contrast between the two sides here. On the left, we have the certificate collector. This is someone who focuses entirely on hoarding dozens, sometimes up to 100 digital certificates, but completely fails to build a single real-world project. Let me be clear, hoarding PDFs means absolutely nothing if you can't apply the concepts. Now, on the flip side, we have the problem solver. This person might have exactly one certification, but they use that specific knowledge to build one highly functional project. If a company needs a new inventory tracking system, they are always going to hire the candidate who built a basic app proving they understand database logic, way over the candidate who simply watched 50 hours of database lectures. Independent, applied problem solving always wins out.
So, how do we make sure you're the problem solver? That brings us to your final, highly actionable, job-winning blueprint.
The source material outlines this highly deliberate 6-step sequence, and I want to walk through it seriously. Step 1, learn a skill. Take your time, actually absorb the material. Step 2, validate that knowledge by completing the certification. But the journey absolutely doesn't stop there. Step 3, you immediately apply that fresh knowledge by building a project that solves a problem. Step 4, you push your code or project files to GitHub, creating a public record of your capability. Step 5, share your project and learning journey on LinkedIn to attract recruiters. And finally, Step 6, with a proven portfolio in hand, you confidently apply for internships and entry-level roles. Connecting these exact steps sequentially is the true secret to breaking into the IT industry.
So the crucial point is exactly what this quote from the source material tells us. Consistency beats collecting certificates. If you're just starting your IT journey, it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of technologies out there. Honestly, it's a lot. But don't feel pressured to learn cloud computing, data analytics, and web development all at once. Pace yourself. Deeply focus on picking one specific domain, complete one relevant certification, and build one solid project. Once you have that foundation locked in, you can move to the next level.
Which brings us to our final thought. Which domain are you picking and which certification are you starting today? Don't wait for the perfect moment or the perfect resume. Dive into these incredibly powerful free resources, start building your undeniable proof of skills, and launch your career. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.